Okay. Oh god. The first time I'm figuring this out is a little harder. Okay. Okay. Mm. Oh, took me a while to figure it. Okay. Daddy. Daddy. Oh my god. Anytime I see somebody I know here, I just like freeze. Hi, good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you here. I've been doing this every day for a while now. I do like an encouragement thing, like 1 hour of encouragement early in the morning. It's just from like 6:30 to 7:30. And so oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm learning from you. I don't know how you do everything together. Oh my god. It's like something I want to learn to do. I want to know how to combine everything and do it well. And congratulations again on the award. It was really nice to see. Because something that I was saying, I think day before yesterday's live or on Wednesday's live, excuse me, I was saying that it's crazy how your work can still compound and yield great results even like at the end of the year. Because I was trying to tell people like the year's ended, it doesn't mean like it's over, that kind of thing. And so when I saw the um updates on your status about the hour, I was just like, this is what I'm saying. Like at the end of the year, something really, really good can still happen, you know. And it's not even the end of the year yet, it's still like 3 weeks away, so you know. But anyways, congrats. Really, really proud of you. So proud of you, so inspired by you. Always really. Um, a last minute miracle. You get it. Sometimes it do be like that, you know. Something happens, at the minute, at the last minute, when you don't expect, when you don't think that it will happen, and it just comes, and it just makes a lot of sense, and it just works out. That's usually like one of the best things, really, when it works out like that. So yeah, super happy. Are you gonna come back home or come back around for Christmas? I think something speaks in my sleep. By the way, if you know some secret cure, like to cough, I need that. I need that. I need help. Like this cough, I've been coughing on and off for a month now, and I've treated it, so there's nothing anymore like medically. It just won't stop. You know. You'll be back for Christmas. That's great because I'm hoping that I can see you actually. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have you around. It'd be nice to have you around. Hopefully we can like hang out once before you go back to your various surgeons. Oh, anyways, for coffee take honey, right? See, I'm just gonna give up and stick to the basics now because it's been there and there. Um, anyways, uh, so today I think I usually start around like 10 minutes in, like while I wait for people to join. So that's why I'm literally just chatting like freely and stuff. Yeah. What are your Christmas plans? Thank you. I am like I'm so sick of this cough. So sick of it. So sick of it. What are your Christmas plans? What are your what are your what's the word? What are the preparations for Christmas this year? Oh, oh Lord. Okay, so to come home and eat. Yes, so that's the biggest plan. That's the best plan. That's the only plan. That's the only plan really. That's everyone's plan to be honest. That's the best plan. Okay, so I just wanna introduce like my topic for today. I know there's like just two people here, but we're gonna just start. It I will talk about change and how that starts with you. And the rationale for this um is from a lesson I'm learning actually. Because like I said yesterday, a lot of the things that I share here are things that I'm learning and things that I'm growing into as I grow. Like I'm learning these things as I grow. And so in terms of change, I'm a very for lack of a better word, strict person to a large extent, right? And so that means that the first thing that is easy to do is to call out something that is wrong. First thing that is easy to do is to pick out, oh, this should not be this. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is less than acceptable. This is less than. This is substandard, right? And being that person, it means that I'm even worse to myself. And so, in relating with other people and trying to um what's the word I'm looking for now? Relating with other people and trying to help them or see why they should change. I realized that the change that I want um other people to create. Sometimes people are not the way they are because they are intentionally being that way. In a lot of cases, people are the way they are because that's how they know to be. And so, if I think I know a better way for them to be, it will not start by loudly from a corner pointing out wrong. It will not start by from a distance trying to enforce change. It will start by consciously applying myself to being the person or being an example of that thing that I want them to do, right? And the biggest like example I can think of right now is that cliche quote about being the change you want to see. As cliche as it is, I have a theory that everything that is cliche because it's true. Like it's cliche because it came out of a truth and that people had to keep repeating it until it became a cliche. So it's cliche because it's true when people say be the change you want to see. And what that means is if there is something you wish could be different, rather than point out to people and say, oh, you have to remove this, you have to change this, you have to, it has to start with you exemplifying that. It has to start with you actually being the person to start that process. So you work in a company, you don't like how they do things in the company, you have to start, like you have to be the forerunner of what the right process is. If you are in a group of people, you don't like how they talk, how they act, what they do, you have to be the forerunner of what you think is right. Right? Being the person who complains and points out is not the ideal. I always think about the scripture, right? And one of the examples, or one of my favorite examples for this in scripture is that part of the log in your eye, remove it first before you look at the splinter in another person's eye. That's what this is. So it's a, if I want, excuse me, if I want things to be better, what am I doing to make them better? That's always the first question. So in the past um week, especially this week, I've talked a lot about um mindset. I've talked a lot about how you act towards other people. I've talked about controlling your mind and being in that winner mindset. I've talked about not giving up. I've talked about, you know, a lot of things that are speaking to just personal encouragement. And now it's encouragement in the sense of your relationships with others today. That's the idea today, is in the sense of your relationship with others. How are you relating with other people, right? How are you teaching people? How are you leading people? How are you correcting people? Hey Abdul, good morning. When I came on today, I say, Abdul is not coming here today. I already got with. I was like, Abdul is not coming. It's good to see you again this morning. Hope you slept well. I know it's Saturday morning, so it might be tough to wake up at this time. But it's good to see you. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. And because it's you, I'll do a quick recap. I'm talking about change and how it starts with you. And I'm talking about it in the sense of when you want people around you to be a certain way. You want them to change, you want them to do better, you want them to improve on something. You don't point it out and sit back. You show them an example of what that is. One of the best examples for this is especially with parents. A lot of parents will shout at their kids, do this and do that, but your kids don't act your words. Your kids replicate your actions. That's what's amazing. And so what that means is at every point in leadership, right? Your followers will replicate your actions. The people looking at you will replicate your actions. If you are driving actual change, change will happen all around because you are already exemplifying it. If you are calling somebody out, for instance, for coming late, you cannot come late. And so when you are telling them, oh, don't come late to meetings, it's because you came early. I don't know why coming late came to my head. It's because you said sorry for coming late. Abdul. No, 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 no. No, no, no. It was not. There was no upset. I was just like, oh, Abdul is usually here before me. He's not here today, so I thought maybe because it's Saturday. But welcome. No hard feelings. Nothing. I'm happy that you're here now. That's what matters, right? I was looking out for every time I do this live now. I look out for you and Trick, especially. Like I know these two people. I know their names. But yeah, so it's a if you want something to change, what are you doing to change it? And we must move from people who change things in mouth. There's an adage in Yoruba. It says that it's easy to cook with your mouth. It's easy to create with your mouth. In the doing, right? You have to be there in the doing. If you're gonna change anything, you have to be a doer. That's the point of this encouragement for today, right? And because it's already the quarter mark, I will say that the summary or the main point for today is the person who will change things has to be a doer. If you're going to make any significant change, if you're going to drive any kind of effectiveness, if you're going to do anything, right, in a place of leadership and setting examples and driving change, and you have to be a doer. If you're not a doer, it's going to be difficult. The person who cannot do cannot change anything. If all you do is talk and complain and point out wrongs, you cannot effect any change. And that might be one of the biggest problems of Nigeria as a nation. We are fantastic talkers. We're phenomenal complainers. We are great at it. And then because we are also a really happy people, we talk about things to the point of humor and then we laugh about it. It's all talk and nothing done. Um, what's what's up for today? Oh, Abdul, I'm talking about change today, right? I'm talking about for anybody who wants to change anything or change any system, how the change has to start with your own actions first. So I'm talking about it from a POV of leadership and from being just your neighbor's keeper. If you want anybody to do anything or change something, you cannot change it just by talking or complaining. You have to be someone who does those things, like the popular saying, be the change you want to see in the world. So you have to be the change. You have to exemplify the change. You have to show the change that you want to see. That's what I'm talking about today, Abdul. Um, let me know if you get me or if you don't get me. Also, let me know, right? But yeah, that's the message for today. Any change that you want to see, anything that you want to change for better, it has to start with you. And I'm saying that if you are not a doer, if you're not somebody who can rise to the occasion and step into action, you can't change anything. So if you want things to change, you have to be a person of action. That's the idea. That's the general idea today, right? And so if you don't understand, let me know, Abdul. If you understand, I'm glad, I'm happy. So you have to come to a place where you are not wearing your glasses, ironic, because I'm wearing glasses today. You have to come to a place where you're not wearing your glasses and looking out for errors of people. It's that you have to get to a place where if you are observing or examining or any of that, you are looking for what you can do to help the situation. You're looking for how you can contribute your quota to the situation. You're looking for what you can do to enforce change. It should never be from a place of you know how easy it is for people to sit in a high place far away and be like, that's bad. That's not good. It should never be from that place. It should never be from you looking down on other people and deciding who is right or who is wrong. It should always be you say, we need to change this. So how am I contributing to the change? If there's anything you want to change, the way people in your office behave, the way people that do business with you do it, the way your staff members or partners behave, the way they do things in any group you are in, the change has to start from your actions. It cannot start from your this thing, this blah, 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 blah. We are good at it. Everybody is great at it. You see, it's easy to condemn something that you have not experienced. That's the easiest thing to do is to judge something you have not experienced. Just by sight alone, like you are just looking at it, you are judging it. That's the easiest thing to do. But if you before you point out the faults of somebody, try to do the things that they're supposed to do, or help them, or try to understand why they are doing what they are doing. Right? The point is, let our default mode not be saying, ah, you are wrong, this is bad, this is not good. And then you point out wrongs, you point out errors, but you don't do anything to change it. You have to always be willing. Like I said, if you are going to change anything, you have to be a doer. So if you're not a doer, change cannot even come from you anyways. So before you then, almost similar to yesterday's stream, right? Was it? Abdul, is it? What do you mean similar to yesterday's stream? Is it that you cannot hear me? Please don't say that. Don't say that that's the case. If you say that, my chest will just start paining me. If that's not the case, right? Then I'm trying to understand what you mean. Yesterday's stream, what we talked about was that you it's not over yet. I think that was yesterday's stream. Was that yesterday's stream? No, 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 no. That's not yesterday's stream. That was day before yesterday's stream. Let me see. Yesterday's stream was, you know what? I'm just gonna do expo because I have expo here. No, 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 no. Yesterday I talked about being fearless. That's different. I know it's different. Yesterday I talked about being fearless. I talked about not waiting for permission, not waiting for the right conditions before you take a leave. I talked about if you need help, ask for help. If you need assistance, ask for assistance. If you want to do anything, do it without fear. That's what I talked about yesterday. Today I'm saying if there are things that need to be changed around you, you have to be the example for that change. You're not talking about coffee. The cup has reduced today. Oh. My voice sounds a little harsh because I didn't really sleep because I had a video, but the cup has reduced by a lot. It has reduced by so much. Anyways, to get back on track, I'm saying that if you want someone to do something, you will start by doing it. You know me. If you say you know me, what can I say? What can I say? So, okay, okay. Yeah, so it's that you get to a place where everything that bothers you about your environment, everything that bothers you about the people around you, if you have siblings, if you have subordinates, if you have people looking up to you, everything that you would like them to change, right? Before you go to that person and say, oh, I think you should do this, I think you should do that, objectively speaking, think about what it is like. And the reason I'm saying this is because to help others make changes, you have to be someone who has empathy. You have to be somebody who is considerate of the feelings and experiences of other people. If you are not, it's very easy to get into judgment. It's very easy to go into a headspace where you're just like, you should be better than this without knowing the full story. Like I said in one of the streams, in one of the more previous streams, I said everybody is experiencing something that is, extremely big for them. It's extremely stressful. Everybody has some pressure, everybody has some, you know, they have their daily routine, they have their background beliefs. There's so much that goes into, like the average person you see, there's so much that has gone into making them. If a person is a certain way, that is not a personality that was built in a day. It's not a personality that was built by one or two incidences. It's not a personality that just came. This is, if you see somebody in their, maybe somebody that is 15 years old, the person they are has been built over 15 years. If you see someone that is 20 years old, the person they are has been built over 20 years. If you see someone that is 30 years old, the person they are has been built over 30 years. So what that means is when you see somebody who needs to change something, you have to take into account the time that it has taken for them to become the person that does that thing. And so when you are approaching them to change it, you are not approaching from a place of just empty talk or just judgmental talk, right? And this is even a dig at myself because I'm growing now, but my default state is no, no, it's no. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. But you now need to understand that the average person is not the average person by magic. They are who they are through a collection of things. And so when you want to address the change, rather than outright judge them, there should be a place of empathy. There should be some understanding. There should be a clear vision of what you are even pointing out. Because there are people who just do round up criticism. Don't do that. Always come from a place of consideration for your neighbor. The default attitude in speaking to others, in understanding others, in working with others, in walking with others is understanding them from a place of love. So, and I always take it to scripture. Scripture says to love your neighbor as you love yourself. When you are doing something that is not good, and you know it's not good, there's a different way that you talk about it now. You say, I know I'm not supposed to be eating this thing, but sometimes I'll just be craving something. Like you're so understanding of yourself. I should be better. I know I should exercise. But these days I'm so busy and I'm so tired. I'll, the level of understanding that you have for yourself, if you can give it to others, I'm sure that the person who sees that you're approaching them from love and understanding, it's be easy for them to listen to you. So the change that you want to see in them, it will be easy for them to start reflecting that change because they will know that you are approaching them from love and understanding. Don't be the person that talks. Don't be the person that is quick to speak. You see that quick to speak thing? Oh, oh, ah. I just want to say I thank God for the growth that I'm growing because as I'm talking, I feel like it's me that I feel like today's life. I feel like today's life is for me more than for anybody else. But being quick to speak is a bad thing. Being quick to judge, being quick to conclude what somebody is doing, what a person is doing, how they are living their lives from just watching them is a bad thing. If you are doing Abdul, you are saying okay. Abdul, do you feel like I'm targeting you? Is that why you are saying okay? Let me know what's in your mind. What's inside Abdul? What's inside your mind? What are you feeling? Do you feel judged in this moment? Do you feel attacked? Let me know. Oh Jesus, this cough. Ah, do you feel attacked? Because I know that, and if you grow up, see, this our culture is a big part of everything. Our culture is a culture that is like they are waiting for you to make a mistake so that they can tear you down. Like, why don't you have sense? You know, growing up, correction was very strict, right? In my family, correction was very strict. There was no understanding of excuses or anything. You do something wrong, the correction comes with power and fire and brainstorm, right? And so as I grew into an adult, I also became that person. So maybe the first change that you need to make is on yourself, on your mindset. Cha cha cha. Ah, it's cha cha cha. Oh. Maybe the first change you need to make is with yourself. How you view the world around you, how you view people that are performing below expectation, and not just your expectation, but the expectations of excellence. Because if it's your expectation, that's already is already biased. So it has to be the expectations of excellence, the expectations of productive living, the expectations of good behavior, that kind of thing. So you are not holding them to your standards or your expectations, but the expectations of already established standards that the average person live by. Anybody that is working should be excellent at their work. So if you're holding someone to expectations, you're holding them to those expectations, not your personal expectations. Maybe that needs to be the first change you make. And then maybe all the change that needs to happen. has to start with you literally, in the sense that you need to change your mindset around how you relate to people around you who are defaulting. You need to change your mindset around how you handle disappointment from people. You need to change your mindset around how you correct people. You need to start to approach correction from love. You need to start approaching correction from a place of forgiveness, from a place of understanding. Even when someone does something that, yes, I this thing is, you can't argue it. If you look at it like this, if you turn it upside down, Abi, is this upside down? See, or inside out? I don't know. But anyhow you look at it, is wrong, is silly, is below par. Even when that's the case, maybe you need to start from washing your own mind. That when I'm correcting people, when I want people to change, when I want to change things, I will start from a place of love and empathy. Maybe that's the first change you need to make. If you can make that, oh, okay, there's a message. If you can change, if you can make that change, maybe then it will be easier for you to effect change in the hearts of the people around you. You can't change people by just talking. They will just know you as somebody that talks. As we say in Yoruba, "Ẹjọ́ ẹ ti pọ̀jù." There are people like that that when they want to speak to me, I'm listening, but I'm not really there because I know Ejo for. I just have feeling like Ejo for like so I'm there out of maybe respect. I'm there because I've controlled myself. I'm trying to be proper, but I'm not listening. I'm not listening. So you cannot be that person. So the first change might need to be you being someone that is not critical, but rather somebody that is understanding. Rather than being critical, maybe you need to move to being constructive. So even when you correct, it's more constructive than critical, right? When you are critical, it hurts more than it builds, it hurts more than it corrects, it hurts more than it informs. When you are constructive, even if the person will feel slight hurt, they get the message, they are corrected in the real essence of the word. Abdul, you say I'm reading your mind. Am I reading your mind? Ah, I'm trying. I'm glad that you can relate. I'm really glad. Yes, Kadi, love and empathy is important. Working out is bad. No, no, no. I'm not working. I didn't say I work out. I say I zone out. Like in my mind, I'm there, but my mind is not there with you because of what you're saying. Because if it's critical statement after critical statement, I'm listening. I'm with you, but my mind has gone. It's my mind that has left. I'm not saying I walk out. That's not what I'm saying. I said zone out. Like I zone out in my mind. So, excuse me. So, if you're gonna be somebody who will help other people change, you have to be somebody who is abundant in love, right? The love that you operate with has to be very evident, and this is very important for leadership. I've one of the privileges that I have is I've been forced repeatedly into leadership from a young age. So I'm having to lead people, lead teams, organize things, and for the periods in my life where I was, for lack of a better word, Margaret Thatcher. Because I don't know a better example, but I've heard that thing a lot as a kid. I say this person is Margaret Thatcher is just a mean woman, right? For the period in my life where I was that person, where I was unapproachable and I was like, this is not like it was so hard, and I didn't get the results I wanted. For the periods in my life where I realized that it's people I'm talking to and I can't keep talking to people anyhow, and I changed. Like some years ago, I just realized, okay, you have to change in your leadership style. You have to actually lead with love. The difference is amazing. What even happens is if you're somebody who drives through change, through character, and in love, you would have people who want to learn from you and follow you naturally. You won't have to do anything. It won't have to be people you are paying that you have to lead. It won't have to be people that that owe you something. It won't have to be people that it will just be natural that people want to follow you, learn from you, work with you, walk with you. And that is because they already know that this person is genuinely interested in me. This person, the point, because if I've been saying drive change, it might be confusing. The point is when you are correcting, correcting love. When you are leading people, when you are correcting people, when you are growing people, do it in love. Don't do it from the POV of, I know more than you, so you must listen to me. Don't do it from the POV of, I'm the leader and you are the follower, so I'm right and you are wrong. Don't even do it from, even in cases where it's younger people. Don't do it from the POV of, I've seen more life than you. You definitely have. Like, if you're talking to a younger person, do you not know that you're older and they're younger? Do you not know that you've had more experience? It's a given. So it should not be from a POV of the obvious because that's already obvious. It should be from a POV of human to human. I'm concerned about you. I'm worried about you. This is how I wish that you could change. And then it should be an example that you are already living. One of the problems I had as a child, when I was growing up, I'm from one of those families where aunties and uncles are abundant. We, our house is the house that everybody comes to, right? And so I had a lot of aunties and uncles who knew how to say, do this, and they will not do it. I'm saying as simple as at some point there was a rule in our house, don't put your leg on the couch, right? But the person telling me not to put their leg on the couch is stretched on the couch with their legs on the throw pillow for that matter. So I can't fight. Oh, hi, Tricks. Good morning. Good morning. I was saying earlier that every time I do a live now, I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for Abdul. Welcome to the live. It's Saturday morning, so it's understandable. It's harder to. Today, it's just been way less people because Saturday morning is a restful morning. To be honest, but it's great to have you here. I hope you slept well. I hope you're doing good today. Um, Today I'm just talking about change starting from you, and when you correct or when you want to change anything, doing it in love, helping people change from a place of love and understanding, exemplifying the change that you want people to carry out and not being someone who just talks and complains, right? But somebody who actually leads by example, who helps people to change by example. That's what I'm talking about today. So, as I was saying, right, it's the auntie and the uncle that was telling me you can't put your leg on the couch. They used to put their legs on the couch. I struggled a lot. And at some point, because, as a child, I was not very expressive, but I was one of those children that would say something once and it would be like mean. So at some point, I pointed it out like, you can't tell me to do something you can't do. If you cannot do it, why should I do it? Like, am I supposed to have more discipline than an older person? I said that like because I was upset, like because in our house setting, there was no correction with words alone. It's words and then an abara here, a knock there, a pinch here. And so it was painful for me. Like you can't leave the example you're setting. So that's another point, right? To bring the points together because we're almost, two-thirds of the life. Like the first thing, you have to exemplify the change. The second thing, you have to be constructive rather than critical to drive change. The third thing, the person who will drive change must be a doer. You must be a doer. You must have action. And now, the fourth thing, you cannot be a hypocrite. Something that you don't have the discipline to do. Advising others to do it is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Owó wà lọ́wọ́ yín. Is that what this message is, Abdul? Is it owó wà lọ́wọ́ yín? Oh, because I see people used to gather in my house. uh, so the thing that you cannot do, asking other people to do it, that's hypocrisy. Let's just put that out here. If you're telling somebody you should do this, you should do that, you should do that, and you cannot do it, my Yoruba is still for that. Let's just establish something, Abdul. I'm trying my best in this Yoruba. I'm trying my best. If you put proper army on the Yoruba, I'll surprise you. Maybe on one of these lives, I'll read Yoruba Bible so that you guys will see that my Yoruba is there. You people that come here and talk about my Yoruba, Yes, it's my best. It's my best. Please don't mind Abdul. He's just being extra. You were here yesterday. I'm sure he knows you were here yesterday. I'm sure he knows you were here yesterday. When you say long time, do you mean 24 hours? Because as at this time yesterday, you were chatting with him in this very life. So I don't know what you mean. Right. So, use Ami Abdul, use Ami to write Yoruba. You see me in action. Like Mr. The energy is a lot, right? It's a lot. Anyways, just to bring it back, right? So if you are telling someone to do something, if you're telling someone this is how to live your life, if you're telling someone this is how to do business, if this is how to, are those things that you've done? Are those things that you can do? If they are not, then the limitations that you have should drive your understanding of the other person's limitations. If you cannot eat right, then that should drive your understanding of another person's limitations to not be able to eat right. So you don't have a right to tell somebody that you are overweight, so say you are eating anyhow. You cannot say things like that because you already know in yourself, which is why that scripture was the first example I gave. Taking out the log in your eye, that scripture for me just points to empathy, understanding that your humanity is also another person's humanity. So if you want this other person to be better, you are not coming at them from a place of higher perfection. Even if you've attained a certain level of discipline and you are better at managing yourself than they are, is that you are coming from a place of understanding as somebody who is also human and who probably had to grow through the struggles that they now have to grow through. So, for example, my my sister-in-law one time, my brother's wife, when she put to bed, and she was complaining and in pain, and my mom was like, you're in pain now, you've not started the real work, when you have babies. And she's like, I know, I'm just tired. And my mom is like, you're not even tired yet, you've not started. At some point I was like, mother, no, don't do that, please, because you know how hard it was for you when you had babies. When this person is complaining, you don't invalidate their complaints. You don't tell them you've not even started. What you tell them is, you've not even started, but I know how you feel. Sorry you feel this way. Encourage them, you can do it. You will be fine. Because you've walked through that path and you know how hard it was, right? When you want somebody to enter that higher level of functioning, you are not going to be criticizing them. You are not going to use discouraging statements. You should not do that. When you do that, you are making it that much harder for them, especially if it's someone that is even sensitive, right? Some of us are, in the words of my mother, Gira. But if the person is not Gira, what do you do? If the person is not emotionally strong enough to hear harsh words and continue, what do you do? Right? So it's that for every time that you want someone to change, you are leading by example, you are leading with love, you are leading with empathy, you are leading with understanding that they are human, you are leading with a knowledge of your own former fault, right? The reason why I can talk to you right now is because I've passed through this and I've changed. And this is how I changed. That's another way you can be the change. Showing them your process. So before I could not exercise, this is what I did. I started walking every day, then I moved to jogging every day, and now I can add weighted exercises. You are showing them your process. You are leading by example. Every sort of leadership that will be effective has to be leadership that is done with empathy and that is done by example. The boss who does not work and shouts at his employee, what happens is when he's back in his office or when he has left the office, the employees will gossip about him. They say someone that is not working shouting at me to work. There's no respect for him because they know that this guy is just talking. He's not the talking is more than the doing. And I was gonna bring this to our country earlier. I was gonna say that is one of the biggest problems. That's one of the reasons why Nigeria is the way it is, right? We are great talkers. If you go on social media, right, especially Facebook, from old to young, everybody has something to say. about the state of the country. Everybody has something to say about the style of governance. Everybody has something to say about, what government is doing wrong or right. Everybody has something to say. But when we bring it to action, what are you doing personally to change things? As little as just in your street that you live in. What are you doing to develop the street even? Because the leadership of a place, right? In cases like ours, where the leadership is chosen by the people, the leadership reflects the type of people. In a case where the leadership chooses the people, right? The type of people reflects the type of leadership. So in the case of the country, the type of people reflect the leadership. In the case of the country, the type of the leader we have, it shows the kind of people we are. In offices, the kind of staff you have, it shows the kind of leader you are. It's intertwined like that. So what change are you driving? You live on a street where people throw trash on a street corner openly. What have you done about that? If you've not done anything about that, what do you want to do to change your country, to change your nation? Nothing. Because even your immediate environment, even in your compound is often dirty. What have you done about it? Did you have a talk with your neighbors? Did you hire someone to clean? Did what are you doing to drive change around you? Because if you're not doing anything to start change, if you're just a talker, to take it back to scriptures, I always do. Scriptures will tell us you cannot hear alone, you have to do. Importance is always placed on doing. It's always placed on doing. I said it in one of the lives recently. Like if you think it and think it and think it and think it and think it, you will eventually do it. This is why change starts with you. If you are just complaining, this uh, things are bad, because we are good at that. These people are not. This is not. They're pointing at people. This one is not doing this way. This one did not used to do this. This one does this. This person is the reason for this. Which one is your fault in the middle of this? Something that I do that has helped me. Of course, I also get counseled not to do that all the time. But something that I do that has helped me is when there's a situation and it's going haywire, a situation I'm involved in, my first train of thought is, how did I contribute to this situation? Regardless of what it is. I'm saying in business, we were supposed to get a deal, the deal falls through. Or we were supposed to partner with someone, we end up not partnering with them. I was supposed to get a contract, I don't get it. The first thing I think of is, how did I contribute to this? What did I do for this situation to be like this? The same thing, maybe the compound I live, something happens with the pumping machine, something happens with it. My first thought is, how did I contribute to this? Because I have to know what I've done or not done to make things the way they are. So, in your heart, in your mind, in your own reasoning, as you go through your day, you have to start thinking like that. What have I done or what have I not done to contribute to the state of things? What have I done or what have I not done for things to be the way they are today? What have I done or what have I not done for people around me to be behaving the way they are doing? Even with your family, you want to change things in your family. You want your siblings to stop acting a certain way. You want your parents to start doing something. What are you doing to change that situation? I talked about praying for others like a week ago. This is one of those situations where you need to pray for others as well. Is to when there's nothing to do again, like when you are doing your actions and you are doing what you need to do in your private place. Alone, I put these people on your hand, Father Lord. So every time there's a situation, the place of your honesty, the place of your honesty. Did I say honesty? Wow, it's only Yoruba that can be falafolo. English cannot be falafolo here. The place of your honesty is saying, what have I done to contribute to this situation? How have I facilitated the current state of things? What can I do to change it? What can I do to turn the situation around? Because if there's a situation around you that is not good, There are chances that you've contributed to it either by your silence, by your negligence, by your inability to notice or lack of observation, whatever it is. In some way there's something you've done to contribute. It can be even a little thing, but in some way there's something you've done to contribute. You need to always go back to yourself and say, what have I done? What have I done to contribute to the way things are right now? If it's a good thing, if it's a bad thing, you need to be honest with yourself about that. If you see somebody acting bad around you, ask yourself, what have I done to help them act right? If you've not done anything, so your go-to is not judgment. Your go-to is to inspire change in them. By example, with love, with empathy. You should always be able to ask and answer honestly. How have I contributed to the situation? If you can do that, you know, I mean, it's the right place to start. It's just the perfect place to start. Oh my gosh. Ah, ah, ah. Thank you, Abdul. Love this. Thank you. I'm glad that you do. Um, and we're going to the final lap of the life as we round up in the life, right? I just want you to keep in mind that every time that you want something to turn around, every time that you want something to be better, every time that you want something to improve, every time that you want something to change, you have to pull your weight. You have to contribute to it actively. You have to do something to ensure that that change happens. You have to. If you don't, then you are not in a position to complain. So rather than be the complainer, be the change creator, be the change enforcer. If there's nothing you want to take away from this life today, please take that one away with you as you go into your day, as you do the rest of your weekend, as you do the rest of your, you know, be the change enforcer. Anything that you want to, rather than be the complainer, rather than be the critical person, be the change enforcer. Be the person that starts the thing. Be the person that calls others to say, guys, let's come together. What can we do? How can we change this? How can we improve this? How can we work on this? How can we make this better? Right? That's the message that I want to say today. Be the change that you want to see. Be the person who drives the change that you want to see. Be the person who enforces the change that you want to see. Be the person who creates the change, who starts the process, who pushes the first domino. Be that person. At every point in time, you need to be that person. My English is sharp proper. Abdul, please. My English is sharp proper. Oh, so my Yoruba is falafala, but my English is sharp proper. Oríṣiríṣi. Anyways, that's all I came to say today. That's me. That's the point for today. That's the message for today. And I just hope, as I always say at the conclusion of these things, I hope that you found something in everything I said. You could relate to something, you could pick something to use for yourself, you could pick something to effect in your own personal journey as you interact with yourself, as you interact with your people. The core of everything, as I always say, is operating life with love. If it starts from love, peace will follow, joy will follow, every other thing will follow, right? The greatest is love. It starts with love. Once you learn to love others, the way you love yourself, everything becomes easier because you're able to live in peace with people. You're able to live with ease. Your heart is lighter. So the core of it, the goal really is to live that life, that all round balanced life, that life that has full peace, full love, full joy. As you relate with other people, that's always the goal. That's always the aim. That's the point of it, really. That's the point of the entire living itself. Is to live a life where your love is full and your heart is full, you know. And yeah, that's the life for today. It's 5 more minutes left in the life, so I'm just gonna chill and leave it to chat. I've really shared what I came to share today, and I just hope that even beyond these lives, if you are watching in real time, or if you rewatch, my prayer and my hope is that the words stay with you and they effect change in your heart and in your life. I really like that song. The song distracted me instantly from this life. Ah, um, oh God, this cough has to go. I'm gonna attempt sleeping the whole day just to see if this cough goes away. It has to go. It's giving me just a constant headache. I don't know. Whoa. I'm not. Anyways, that's the life for today. I think I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm gonna go sleep now. I had a vigil, so I couldn't really sleep. Like I slept, I think past 2 or 3, and woke up at 5 because I had to prepare for this. But yeah, that's the life for today. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Um, it's always such a pleasure to talk to people here and chat and get made fun of by Abdul. And the views go and come, so I never know exactly how many people were in the live with me until like after it. But yeah, thank you so much. That is the end of the live today, guys. I shall see you. The next live will be on Monday. So I know I say I do this every day, but Sunday mornings are exempt. So if I come on live on Sunday, it's usually random, might be in the evening. It's not structured as such. But the next 6:30 a.m. live will be on Monday. So at this time, tomorrow it will be random. I might do it in the afternoon, in the evening, whenever really. But on Monday it will go back to 6:30. So I'll see you again in the next live. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. Have a blessed weekend. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye. Okay, I need to close. Mm.